Yo, so as you will have just seen, I've just welded the lambda bung onto the exhaust system. The lambda's in there, plugged in, all cable tied up out of the way. No oil in there, I've got a fresh filter on there, so gonna bung some oil in now and get the old girl fired up, and then may adjust the camber a little bit. I can also roll the wings a little bit. It's all going to be painted again, so definitely need to pull some camber out of it to get a bit more traction out of it. And this car's always had a handling problem. Ever since I got it on the road, it's been sketchy AF. It's just really twitchy. There's no toe on the rear. It's parallel from where I modified the axle, made the axle narrower, and I also added some camber, and there's a tiny bit more camber on one side than the other, which is rubbish. No toe. The idea is to build a lightweight beam axle that's fully adjustable, but that can wait for a while. I've actually got a K11 axle, so I can cut the stubs off of it and use them on the new axle. What else is there? Yeah, it's too much camber, and the lower arms that are on it, which have got spherical bearings and like roll center correction pins. I think what I need to do is get a gauge on it and check all the bump steer. I mean, it doesn't have any problems with understeer or anything like that. It doesn't even feel like it's got any bump steer, but it is certainly unstable and twitchy. Also, the steering's really heavy because the sphericals on the front are brand new. So what I might do is, what you can do is you can put a bolt through the spherical bearing, put it in a pillar drill, and then spin the bearing until it's loosened up a little bit. It's a bit gash, but it's a quick way of wearing out the bearings, I guess. So, I don't know. We'll play with that, but for the minute, we're just going to throw some oil in it, and then we're going to take it. I'm going to take it home tonight. I've got my laptop. I'm going to adjust some of the map, raise the rev limiter, play with the ignition map, and get the EGO correction, which is basically exhaust gas oxygen correction, working, so that it runs off of the, I'm not sure what you call it. You got like a VE map, volumetric efficiency map, which is what you tune the car with, and then you've got an AFR map. That's the one. So the AFR map is what you'd like the AFRs to be, and then the ECU will correct using the information from the lambda sensor. So I might get that running. I might send some screenshots to my mate, who is a tuner, and see if he thinks that I'm good to go on the AFR map that's in the ECU. Anyway, I'm going to get this oil thrown in, and then we'll go from there. Right, so there are some differences. We will probably ignore this for now. Would you like to send your offer? No. We'll go for no, because I don't know what I've done here. So, first of all, we should probably calibrate the TPS. Close throttle, get current. Seems legit. And then open throttle. Seems legit. Yeah, we'll go with that. And then we will go boost advanced. Launch. So we got nothing on any of this other than launch. Launch is all we're using. Are we going to change anything? No. think I might just bring the launch down a little bit, because it just wheel spins like a motherfucker. I'm tempted to change. We'll go with that. Right, so and then what else was I doing? Fuel settings, EGO control, disabled, single wideband. And then I think we're just going to go with it and see what sort of... I don't really know a great deal about mapping and that, but you gotta like muck around with these things. So it needs a power cycle to take effect, which is turning ignition off and then back on. So that's that done. Fuel settings, if we go to AFR table, this is what I was saying about. So the AFR table, this is the target AFRs it's going to try and hit. Seems, but it's all below 70%. I don't know if you saw on the last menu when I was doing it, it said active below 70%. So below 70% throttle, it's you know, it's having a... And the other thing, that only goes up to 6,000, but you're never going to be up above 6,000, I don't think, unless you're at, you know, above 70% throttle. So then it's kind of irrelevant. What else was I going to look at? I mean, it is a little bit on the rich side at the... So this is a VE table. Hang on a minute. Overrun fuel cut. I want to make sure that that's disabled. Yeah, it's off. And then... Yeah, so if we look at the VE table, this is the actual, like, the tuning. So it's got TPS up the side. So the way this is mapped is on TPS and RPM, which is also known as alpha N. And if it was a turbo, you'd be running... Oh, what's the name of the other thing? I can't remember. Here we go. Speed density. But we're not, we're on alpha N. So we'll leave it on alpha N. Oh yeah, something else I needed to do was, I think it's probably here, rev limiter. I'm going to go up with the rev limiter. I don't actually know. I'm not using coolant based rev limiter. So what you can do is you can set the rev limiter so that when the engine's cold, it won't have any negative effect. I mean, sorry. When the engine's cold, you can set a rev limiter so you can't over rev the engine. Sorry, I said some random shit then because I was concentrating on something else. So you got spark retard. This is a good thing about the Mega Squirt and that, it's got these little question marks, so you can... This is Tuner Studio, so you can just, you know, if you're not really sure what you're doing, you can use it like a bit of a manual and just click on that and it'll tell you what each setting will do. So we're going to leave the spark retard at 15, I reckon, for now. So it would retard the ignition to 15 degrees. But if you change that, like bring it down further, it will, it would be more aggressive. I'm not using any fuel cut because I want the fuel. I want it to throw the fuel in so that it can fire flames out the back. I'm probably never going to rev it to 7.5, but at the moment I hit the limiter all the time. And anyway, it will start coming in at 7.3. And it probably will not push past the soft limiter. It's not got enough beans. So we'll burn that. And then we are going to go, this map here goes all the way up to 7.5. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring the top few lines down, probably from 3000 all the way to the red line. I'm just going to come down a few points, lean it out just a gnat's cock, and I've got an app on my phone so we can actually like monitor the AFRs as we're driving. Right, burn that. It's just a little bit rich at the moment, but it's safe, so maybe I should just leave it. You only live once. And I've literally just brought it down like 3 points. Ignition table. So if we go from 3000, yeah, let's go from 3.5. And we're going to bring that down to I actually want to put in a number. Let's go decrease selector cells by 45. There must be a way where you can actually, instead of bringing it down like that. Right, let's do that again. And we'll come down. We're going to come down to -5. That's 6,000. Let's do that. And then, if we go like this, there is a way that you can, oh, there we go, set to. Look, I could have just clicked on that. Interpolate. So then it, 2.7. It's basically what it's doing is it's kind of smoothing out. So that's like in the middle of that figure and that figure. Anyway, we'll go with that. So I've just like obviously massively retarded the ignition, but it's below. Anything below, or from 10% TPS down, so 10% throttle position down, and it's only above like 2,700. So you're never actually on the throttle, or under any load. It'll be kind of when you're just on overrun. So yeah, that's all that burned in there. Now all we need to do is see if the engine still fires up and runs. I'm going to have to give it some throttle. Oh, doesn't want to idle now. See how low it's trying to idle? I need to bring that up a little bit. Well, I can do that, but also on the ignition settings, I don't know if it's set like this, but see, we're off the bottom of the map. And what I've done in the past is had it so that when it dips down below a certain number, well, you can actually see, look, it's got a bit more ignition advance, so it probably wants to be idling around 900, but with the little bit more ignition advance, when it drops down there, it gives it a bit more advance to try and pull it back up, pull the revs back up. But the engine probably wants to warm up a little bit, so what we'll do is I'll open up the bonnet and I'll adjust the idle a little bit. A bit more like it. I think we're just going to go home, take it home. Seems legit. Ticking over a bit high now, but I think we'll just take it home, let it settle, and adjust the tick over again tomorrow. Okay, so I'm hoping that now I can screenshot this, and I've turned the external microphone on so that hopefully you'll get some sound as well. Bear with. Right, going to be quiet now, so I'll switch this off and we'll catch you in the next video.